billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Rabbil alamin. Okay, so I love to hear myself talk, right? But I also have a degree in journalism, so I want to do like the news and let you guys know what's going on in the world from the Black Muslim perspective, because we know how to connect the dots. Remember how I used to connect the numbers? That's for a reason. And anyway, Russia and Ukraine. Let me read Putin's statement, what he said. It's just so dope, because you look at American media and they make it seem like he's a bad guy, but why is America even there? That's between Russia and the Ukraine. Why is America and these other countries getting involved in their beef? Number one, their MO throughout their whole history has been to divide and conquer. They come in like they are trying to serve as peace brokers or whatever, trying to serve as a middleman to get these warring countries to reestablish peace. What they do is go in and divide them even more, and then they can rule both of them. They've been doing it for years, but Russia is very much aware of it. So I haven't even got through this whole paper. This was a very good news day. I remember what I was telling you, how American media will put the most important news that's supposed to be front page on the back page, way at the bottom in small print. That's where I found this. But that's how I read the newspaper anyway. I start at the back. I'll look at the front page, but then I turn right to the back. Somebody told me that's how you're supposed to read magazines and things like that. So, sometimes I'll start from the front and read it from front to back, but that's rare. I usually will scan the top of the folds, and then I go right to the back of the A section. But anyway, this is what Putin had to say. Okay, Moscow. They been in Ukraine since February 24th. That was the day that they first, was making their presence felt in the Ukraine. But they he said, speaking at a meeting with leaders of the Kremlin, Putin accused America and the other white people, has got to be Europe and Australia, because that's it. America, Europe, and Australia fueling the hostilities, charging that the West wants to fight us until the last Ukrainian. And there they go with that, trying to shut me up. But I was at 7-Eleven and people was giving me charity, and somebody bought me this big thing of water. Bismillah. not spring water. You got to be careful nowadays because the label will say spring water and it's not. You know, spring water tastes light, fresh, not heavy with minerals. But okay, let me see. Earlier in the conflict, okay, this is Thursday, warned Kiev that it should quickly accept Moscow's terms or brace for the worst. So I'm like, okay, what are the terms? Okay, then later it says recognize the independence of those countries that want to be independent of the Ukraine that Moscow is backing, and leave America and Europe and Australia alone. Keep your values. And Russian sovereignty over the Crimean Peninsula. You know, I guess that's in the Ukraine. That's why Muslims look at maps. You know, I've heard of the Crimean Peninsula post or map. Okay, and this is a good part. What he said. Putin reaffirmed the long-held claim that America and its allies is using the conflict in the Ukraine to try to destroy Russia. They simply, this is a quote, they simply don't need such a country as Russia, Putin said. I'm not sure if it's Putin or Putin. But, this is first. Vladimir. Okay, let's see. Vladimir said, this is why they have used terrorism, separatism, and internal destructive forces or agents, you know, agent provocateurs inside Russia, inside our own country. Terrorism, you know, he's throwing their work back on them. Y'all the terrorists. America the terrorists. And separatism, that divide and conquer tactic that they always use. He is well aware of their MO. You know, their time is up. Everybody is awake. You know, they can't pull that small time stuff anymore. You know, okay. Then he said America has issued sanctions against Russia, but Vladimir said that they have failed to achieve their goal of sowing division and strife in our society and demoralizing our people, which is the number one thing of the devil Caucasian. They have no sense of decency and intelligence. I like no sense. You know what I mean? They're just wicked and evil, and he knows that. You know, and that they want everybody else in the world to be wicked and evil like them. You know, to look up to them and admire them and want to be like them. And their number one incentive is money. You know, he's talking about the sanctions that they levied against his country, but money is losing its sway. You know, it's like, we got money. You know, you can't use that to try and get us to do what you want. We good. You know, we don't need your money. Just stay over there in your country and stop getting into other people's affairs. Universal snoopers, meddlers, mischief makers, and bloodshedders. That's a white man. America, Europe, and Australia. So then he went on to say, the course of history is unstoppable, and attempts by the collective West to enforce its version of the global order are doomed to fail. I love it. He is like so far above them, white people. I mean, well, he's white too, but he doesn't have the same mentality as America, Europe, and Australia, the global oppressors. He called it enforce its version of the global order are doomed to fail because their time is up. People are not falling for their ideas of how people are supposed to live anymore. He called it demoralizing. No morals whatsoever, no sense of righteousness. They're just devils, and it's beautiful, but you gotta read the newspaper, and I'm surprised that they put his actual quotations, and of course they heavily ladened it with their opinions, with using incendiary words, like he added, I'll cross it out. I guess I don't even need to say it, because the truth is in there, it's right there. Okay, so another thing on this back page, the ex-prime minister of Japan was shot. It was an attempted assassination while he was giving a campaign speech. And my thing is, what was the country like when he was the prime minister, And it seems like it was doing well. He resigned in 2020 because of a health issue that he's had all his life, or the majority of his life, and he had been taking medication or whatever to stabilize his health, but I guess it got too bad for him to remain as the ruler of a country, and so he resigned in 2020. But I guess he got it back under control because he's campaigning. They're having an election, a parliamentary election on Sunday, and he got shot last Friday the 1st, and it was like he got shot right here in the chest, and I meant to look up his condition before I went on and talk about it, but that's major. It's an attempted assassination of the leader of Japan. It's not like some small unheard of country, but Japan, and it's got to be backed by America, who don't want him to regain power, or so they do that type of thing. You can't be surprised at the level of evil that these people stoop to, so let me see. That just made me really sad, whenever someone is in a high position, the prime minister, he was the leader of this country, and he was shot. They captured the person who shot him, but it doesn't really say what happened. They put all this filler, useless information talking about the medical, definition of what happened. Who cares? What type of government, what type of leader was he? What happened to the person who shot him? You know, but yeah. Then it says something called NHK. Oh, that's the television station. Yeah, his name is Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, I'm guessing. And that means father, and it's only in America that they use daddy. And to me, that just leaves a nasty taste in my mouth. In Arabic is Ab, Ab, which is kind of like our, and just the whole image that I get is nothing like what you see in America. Your father is the one who is the most loving. He is your nurturer, your provider. You go to him for anything under the sun, anything good, just love, just to show your appreciation for him loving you and taking care of you and your mother who gave you life and your family. He is just an endless, infinite source of love and security and protection and a confident, if you have any issues, especially your brothers, his sons who are going to succeed him, they have issues I don't even want to think about, that men have to this responsibility, as the provider and the protector. That's a lot, so to be able to do that and succeed in that role is so admirable. I can't think of any instances except that one when I was on the streetcar and that white man's family, they just all got on and sat down, and then he said to the conductor, how much is it? And he just paid for everybody, and that's just a monetary thing. But I've never seen anything like that in my life. It's so backwards here. The family is supposed to be completely dependent on the Ab, and the formal title is Abu, but if informal is Abi, which means my father, Abu is like father or whatever. And I noticed on Facebook, it's just so beautiful. The Muslims, are calling themselves Abu Hakim or Abu, whatever their first child is. If they have a son, it's always a boy, but some people aren't fortunate enough to have a son. So they say Abu Anisa or, their daughter. But that's fortunate too, at least you have someone to love, and to love you, But yeah, so that's just my vision of how it's supposed to be, your Abu is, just like the greatest thing next to Allah. He's like your vice regent, I think, or your the person you go to who you can talk to face to face, about whatever it is. He always has the answer, the solution. I was reading literature, Arabic literature, and this brother wanted to marry a sister, and his father was like telling her parents whatever concerns you have, and it's usually financial. He was like, we will be able to support them and their family and their grandchildren and their great grandchildren. You don't have to worry about that. That's what Abi or Abu is. And then you get to the Jeddah and Jeddah teas, and it's just the Quran says the eye has not seen, the ear has not heard, nor has it entered into the hearts of man of what this world will be like under the rule of Allah. When we're all Muslims, we live in peace. And I was thinking earlier, I have like this idyllic view of everything. It's like I'm 1 in 50, and by I hear people and they say, so like, I'm a grown bleep woman, and I'm like, I never want to be like that. I'm gonna be a little girl, all my life, because they have like issues and concerns and things that they think about that just make me feel all icky and ugh. I don't think about no grown-up stuff. Okay, so let me see if there's anything else. I think that's like just the major stuff. I was gonna somehow I got an AP app on my phone, but it's so biased. Sometimes I was going to take the LSAT, the SAT to go to law school, and I was studying for it and everything, but they want you to be impartial, and look at, have a like, one of them is right and one of them is wrong, but they don't want you to look at it like that. So when I'm taking this test, I can't pass it because I'm going to go on the side of justice and righteousness. But for some reason, as white people, they want you to look at everybody as, I don't know. This is just, all messed up, but I couldn't do it. I kept getting the answers wrong according to them, but you go by your convictions. And I don't know, Ernie said, or Hoots told Ernie to put down the ducky just until you finish playing the saxophone. But I'm like, no, I'm not putting mine down. I'm gonna stick it right on the saxophone. I think they try to do that so they could steal it or something, while you are grooving. You're not paying attention, and you finish a song and your ducky is gone. So don't put down the ducky. Oh man, they were that guy who murdered George Floyd. They had some other kind of charges against him, federal charges, but they keep giving him 20 years. And he's serving them concurrently with the other 20 years. It's just on a federal level, so that upsets me. In Islam, we believe in the law of Moses, an eye for an eye, a life for a life. If you kill somebody, then you get killed. that's justice. Floyd is not ever coming back. But this guy, 20 years, he gonna be free again, like nothing happened. He didn't even get life in jail, which so unfair. There's no justice for us at all. No justice. He did, and that guy, no justice. There is they talking about okay, let me say a little bit more. George Floyd's murderer only got 20 years in jail. It's one thing to be in jail, and you can ask anybody that's been to jail. Lifers have a completely different attitude. It's like they don't have nothing to lose. They can do anything they want in jail. You know what I mean? It's like, what they gonna do? You already in jail for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? If you got a light at the end of your tunnel, then you're gonna behave differently than if you don't. If all you see is darkness at the end of your tunnel, you know that's where you headed. So it's like you just this, you know what I mean? And he has a light at the end of his tunnel. He know when his 20 years are up, he's gonna be, or probably not even that long. I don't know nobody who does the whole term. They'll do 3/4 or whatever percent, and it's usually like 20% or something like that, but like no time compared to your sentence. But George Floyd doesn't have no type of life. His children don't have no type of light, and to me it's just horrible. I'm trying to think what's a good, some type of positive in this horrible what do they call it? No justice. I can't think of the term. Miscarriage. That's probably why I don't. It's horrible, miscarriage is bad. It's like the worst thing that can happen to a person. But of justice, it's horrible. But it's gotta be something good in it. I have a picture of him with his daughter. She was just like him. Maybe that's a good. He got a daughter, So she can have more of him. When she gets older, she can have more black men, strong, big black men like he was. Just huge, big. My son calls them big, scary black men. But the white man is definitely scared. Yeah, 20 years. Not even life, He should never, ever be able to walk the streets free again and, breathe free air. He should be locked up until they put him under the ground. He should never, ever. If he don't, he should really be executed for killing that brother. That's justice. That's only justice. If you kill somebody, then you get killed. The Quran, that's justice. A life for a life. You killed this innocent man, you need to be killed. That's common sense, but it's so far from common sense in America. It's not common at all. Okay, he has a daughter, so that's like my positive out of such a horrible negative. He has a beautiful daughter. Okay, so onto the environment. California, everybody's vegetarian and aerobics and athletics, skating and bike riding on the bike trails on the beach and surfing and skating. And the reason is because of the weather. I look at educating and children is a big thing for me. So I was reading a book about what it's like to go to school in New York. I don't even want to think about it, but you inside too much. I used to, just being in school when my head was always looking out the window. I can't wait to get out of this room. I can't wait to be back outside, in the sunshine and cool breezes. That's my thing now, cool breeze. They call it sleepy time down south when you get that good breeze. It just makes you want to stretch out and just lay around, roll around heaven all day like the sun. But it was so sad because like PE is inside and the weather, it controls people's level of happiness. You be somewhere where it's cold and it's damp all the time, you're gonna have a lot of depression and whatnot. Like, even when it's when it's overcast out here, the government does that intentionally. My sister used to be into that. It's HARP, HA. I don't know if it's 2 A's. I can't remember what it stands for. I haven't really gotten into all that, but they deliberately cloud the skies, especially at nighttime, so you can't see the moon. The moon is so beautiful that the word camera comes from the Arabic word for moon, kamaru. And it's like a whole science just to photograph the moon. But they don't want us to know what time it is. And they don't want us to see the beauty that Allah put up there for everybody. It's just so evil, the things that they do. I'm glad their time is up. But I learned a new term. It's hydrology, the study of water. And that's a science if your children, and I believe it's fairly new, surprisingly. It might not be, it might just be a new term, but how you have biology, anthropology, they have hydrology now, the study of water, and probably the water cycle, from clouds to rain to the rivers to the ocean, and then up in the mist back to clouds, but hydrologists, and they are meteorologists who have this technology to forecast the weather and foresee storms coming, but with the global warming, and they don't talk about the cause of it, but they used to, tell us the hole in the ozone layer, and I don't know what's going on with that anymore. The white man acts like problems go away if you don't talk about it. People forget, but I don't forget. It was aerosol spray cans and stuff that they were saying was causing this big hole in the ozone layer, and so the sun's rays are coming through without being filtered, and it's disrupting the ecosystem of the planet. And so the forecasters of the weather technology is way off. And example was Hurricane Ida that I kind of missed, but apparently it was this big hurricane in Louisiana, of course, but it also hit up north like New York and New Jersey and Pennsylvania, I think. But they had forecasted 3 to 6 inches of rain and ended up getting 9 to 10 inches of rain, so that's like a really big deal. And then there was this heat in the Pacific Northwest in Washington, Oregon, and Canada, and the temperatures record breaking, like that rain and the hurricane, what reached 116 degrees, and 600 or approximately 600 people died. Let me make sure, because that's a lot. So let me it says June 2021 up to 116 degrees, and an estimated, we said approximately 600 people died in the record-breaking temperatures. People, I don't know. In our house, only our parents had air conditioning in their bedroom. We didn't have it. But in New Orleans, it's like you have air conditioning in every room, which just makes sense. I don't understand. We call it niggardly in the nation, but that's Christianity, niggardly, and it just makes no sense. It's like killing a child because you don't think you'll be able to feed it, or buying the store brand instead of the name brand stuff. Sometimes the store brand is good, like Pavilions. Their stuff is top notch, but don't be niggardly. That's really bad. Give your children dessert after supper every day. You're supposed to have a dessert. When you make supper, make a pie. Make some freezer pops. Get one of those little plastic freezer popsicle things that you can make yourself. I love those things, and not only is it economical, but you know exactly what's going in it. When you make some Lemonade, just pour some in there, and you can have love pops, baked cakes, baked cookies. When I go to the store, my snack is brownies and milk. I'm not getting chips and soda. I'm getting some type of pastry and some milk. I love milk. My son told me that after I had a nervous breakdown and he went to go stay with other people, that he didn't like regular milk. I was like, what? That I could understand that for a minute. It was like cognitive dissonance. It was, how do you not like regular milk? Because, Mom, all I've ever had is milk and honey. It's like, oh, okay. Or chocolate milk and honey, or strawberry milk and honey, or shy milk and honey, or something like that. He never had plain milk. And that's crazy to me because I can, drink it either way. I prefer it with honey, but sometimes I don't feel like making it. I just drink milk. Love it. I still don't really understand what's going on with the baby formula. I know it's a lot of corona babies being born. Every time I go on Facebook on my stories, it's like 4 new babies. Every time I could go on there like throughout the day, but it's always some new babies. They're always black, and it's just beautiful. All these corona babies. That's what I'm calling them. They might not like it. Parents might not like it, but that's what they are. And this is just like a baby boom. And they're just the cutest things. I see all these pregnant women in person, and it's you see progress when you see a pregnant girl, and then you don't realize that it's been months and she had a baby like 3 or 4 by now, and it's like, oh my God. I saw this one brother I went to school with, and being in a nation when you eat to live, it keeps you looking youthful. And so I saw this brother, and I thought he was one of my teachers because his hair was all gray and everything. But he told me, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to, I don't want to insult you at all, and I hope people don't know who I'm talking about, but right after graduation, his sister had a baby, and when I saw him, he was like, oh yeah, the baby's at so and such college. I was like, why they move out there? It didn't even dawn on me that all this time had passed and the baby was in college now, like matriculating in college. And I was like, that's, you can see the passage of time in the children. And I think about when I was in New Orleans in the hospital, this girl was she had such a old soul, they say. She was the one who I learned that the difference. The guys say, you heard me, and the girls say, here. It's still, the listen, what I'm saying, but it's just such a huge difference in the genders. The men, it's like a 10-foot wall, between the men and the girls. It's not like that dotted line where they pass through and men gonna feminine and the girls act masculine and you can't tell what is what, that kind of thing. Ugh. It grosses me out the door. I have to leave when that happens, but it's not like that in the South. And I really dug that. But she was pregnant, and I just wonder, this had to be like 2018. My baby is 5 now. Oh my God. Such a fun age. 5-year-olds, they just coming out that toddler stage and just really, really fun. And I'm thinking she had a boy, I don't know. But girls that age are fun too. They like little mamas with their dolls and stuff, like this my baby, and it's so cute. But let me see if it's anything else. So yeah, hydrology, that's like a science of water, and water is a big deal now. They're selling stuff that is not H2O. I don't know what it is, something that they grafted in a laboratory. And I'm looking at this, I'm in Hawaii, and this says Aloha Y, Hawaiian water, but it's not spring water, it's purified water, and the white man, I want you to see the label. You can see a little bit, it has a flower on it, and it looks like it's from some oasis or some gushing, flowing waterfall, But it's just a shame what they did. I was talking to this guy in the Uber, and he was telling me how his family was from Sweden, and what they did, they didn't get black people to come and do whatever they wanted to do to take over these people's islands. They didn't use the original, people. They went to Sweden and the Philippines and told them that they could get more money for their labor, gold, like they told us. But that didn't happen when they got here. They ended up not being able to work and ended up sharecropping, and generations passed, and they still living on they call them plantations here still. You read a tourist things to do, and they got some type of sugar plantation, and I can't even stand to look at it, but the guy's name is Baldwin. It's some name that starts with B, and the other name is Baldwin, and I think about Baldwin Hills, and it's probably the same person, because California and Hawaii are very closely related, but that's where he got rich, I guess, sugar plantation out here. But they have a Swedish community, and the guy told me his name was Lars Johnson, and he said, I know you can't get more Swedish than Johnson. And I was like, are you for real? You really think that's a Swedish name? And he was like, you can't get more Swedish than Johnson. I was like, John, you think that's the Swedish name? That you is European. And then he was like, oh yeah, it's Jan. And I said, see? People, listen, somebody told him that his grandfather came here from Sweden named Johnson. I was like, you just, don't question it. The messenger said, talk back to me, you know. You never questioned the first teacher, so why are you questioning me? You was reared under his teaching and you just took it as fact and never questioned it. I questioned it. When I was about 12, I started asking questions and they didn't have no answers, so I was like, okay, time for me to go. Yeah, so anyway, Allah Akbar. Today is Eid al-Adha, and I posted a khutbah from Culver City, and it's amazing because when me and my son had a desktop, and we would go on Google Maps, and look at places around the world where you can get that street view and see what it actually looks like on the ground in these certain places. We found out that our ancestors, I can't think of the word that they use, ascendants, how they say descendants, the people before you on the other side, I think they call them ascendants. But anyway, they were from Dell, Texas, and I was told that it wasn't even on the map. It wasn't even, it was just some hick town and it wasn't on the map. But now it's like Dell Computers, and I just thought that was cool. But we tried to look at Mecca and you couldn't even see it. It was like, no, you cannot see this city. But you on YouTube now, it's like all types of streams, live streams of Hajj. And I'm like, wow, it's a big difference. The veil is being removed. And it just makes me want to go, just to be a part of that beautiful gathering, but inshallah. Yeah, so you can go to Google Maps and look at what's going on the ground. Hajj, Eid al-Adha, and that's tomorrow. Today is Arafat. And it's really important day, and it fell on the same day as Jumu'ah. It's one of the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, and it's just a beautiful thing. I had this app for, I think it was to call the Adhan at prayer time, but it had all sorts of other information. It was like every single day it was some type of significance Islamically. This is a day that I just use. Well, I'm thinking of that the ark landed on Mount Arafat when signaling the waters had receded and the destruction of those people was over. It wasn't the whole earth that the Bible make you think. It was just the people of Noah. But yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. So tomorrow, Eid Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Oh wait, let me check my list one more time, one more again, because I don't want to forget nothing. But yeah, hydrologist, a water scientist career. That sounds crucial. Dealing with the ocean. And I took oceanography in college. It's just so many different areas. You can the ozone layer. It's probably water up there. And drinking water, you want to make sure it's clean. And then you got snow, rain, hail, and just to make sure everything is flowing right. I used to live right by the beach, so I would see all these tributaries, and it was like they would get right close to the ocean, but they didn't make it. I can't think of one that, okay, maybe more, 2 or 3 that still, flow, fresh water flowing into the ocean up in Malibu. And it's good to see. But some places the earth's arteries are clogged, and the water doesn't make it all the way to the ocean. All it takes is a good heavy rain. While I was there, they had record-breaking rain, and so I got to camp by this tributary to the Pacific Ocean, and just the sound of brook bubbling, gurgling. That's the word that they use. It was just so, just life right there. People underestimate the importance of water, a fresh water source. This lady was complaining, wide awake Hawaiian. I was complaining because I couldn't buy some spring water. She complaining because they gotta pay for their own water in their houses. You know what I mean? I was like, dang. The Uber driver I had, we were talking about the monarchy, and I Googled it, but they did not give all the information because I went to a bookstore and I was reading up on the history of the Hawaiian monarchy, and it doesn't tell you that the queen has a daughter, and they act like she was the last, but she was not. And I'm sure, her daughter has children, and he was trying to say, what do you need a monarchy for? It's America now. And I was like, man, let me get up out of this car, because you just too brainwashed. They got British flags, riding around wearing British clothes, but I still see their flag too. I'm gonna have to post it. Some people are brainwashed just like in America. They join in American military, and I feel like Harriet Tubman, people didn't even know they were slaves. So how can you free them? How can you help them be free when they don't have the comprehension to understand that they need to be free? And I was the same way in college. I was in the AAPRP, which was like the successor to the Black Panthers, and they were talking about freedom, and I didn't get it. I didn't get justice, what it really meant, but freedom, justice, and equality is when you are able to provide for yourself without having to depend on anyone else. You have your own land, your own space, and you can do for self. You don't have to go to the white man to get the material to make your clothes. You can grow your own cotton and process it into fabric that you can work into some clothing, you know. That's freedom, justice, and equality, independence. And if you look at the Muslim program and position in numerical order, what do the Muslims want? Number 1, freedom. Number 2, justice. Number 3, equality. And number 4, land. Or we can exercise the first 3. Yeah, but this is a new car. I'm gonna end it with like a little fluff piece, and I'm really gonna have to watch some type of editing tutorial, so at least I know how to do it. You know, if I ever get the inclination to put a little, insert into my videos to illustrate what I'm talking about, because I saw this car. I could not believe Buick got a whole new symbol, but I still knew it was a Buick. I was like, this is a Buick? Oh my God, I could kind of see how, like, back in the day, that was like a thing, but, that's like, I could never get into, like, the Regals and the Mark 7. I was just really too gangster for me. I wasn't, gangster like that. But a lot of people, into Buicks. But this was an SUV. So I'm going to locate a photograph, inshallah, and post it like I did my last video. I just watched it again and went and posted everything underneath it. So I guess, I don't know, maybe I could just break the video up or something, and when I get to a certain point, it'll stop, and then I could put the illustration and then continue with the video. We used to actually cut and paste. I guess that's what it was. We used to use a reel-to-reel vinyl. I don't know if it was vinyl, but whatever, those big, tapes, like they have the audio cassettes, but we had like the reel-to-reel and it's big machines, and when you edit it, you actually took a razor and cut the tape, and took it out, whatever you didn't want, or put something else in, like a quote or something, and then you actually taped it together. They call it paste. And that was how we edited when I was in college in 96. It wasn't, 26 years ago. But, it's not analog anymore. Everything is digital. So whenever you're in the industry, you're supposed to continue to study and learn and grow as the industry grows. So my son was trying to teach me or show me how to do, I think it was iMovie. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what they used to use. I know they have Photoshop. There's another one I used to use. I never learned how to use it. That's probably why I can't remember. Real time, quick, something, movie. I know it's something called real time, and it was something quick, something. But I can't remember those early video editing software thingies. So I think I'm find this flag, because flags are so important. See, I got mine right here, blowing in the wind. Love that. But yeah, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Not Ramadan. Eid Mubarak, Jumu'ah Mubarak, and wa barakatuh. Bye bye, kitty.